Usually there's a pause of silence going, okay, and then there's usually, do they know about each other? I have two partners at the moment. I have Monique, who's my primary partner, and Chelsea, who's my secondary partner.
With Matthew's current partner, Chelsea, I don't feel romantic feelings for her, and she doesn't for me, but we get along like a house on fire. So spending time with her is really good, and quite often we'll hang out all together.
I don't currently have other partners, but I don't consider Matthew my primary partner. So even though he's the only partner I have, I still consider him a secondary partner in the sense that we don't have those primary dynamics.
As I say, it doesn't sound very nice, but it definitely helps to know where you stand. Secondary is not a derogatory term. Secondary just means that there is someone else who gets to spend more time and possibly has more of a life plan together.
I manage my time a lot with Google Calendar as, best friend. It's definitely helpful organising that time and sharing that time and making sure that we're spacing the time out well.
Polyamory can be time consuming, yes. You learn very quickly to be very organised and to utilise your calendars very well. The main thing for me is energy. I have been in relationships where it hasn't necessarily felt worth it because at the end of it I felt drained and exhausted.
The whole idea of polyamory for me is not pressuring yourself to be 100% of what someone else needs.
I'd say polyamory is like an extreme sport for your heart. You're put in really emotionally intense situations to a degree a lot greater than you would in a monogamous relationship. That's not to say that monogamous relationships don't have those intense moments, but the degree to which you have them is a lot more in polyamory.
I guess I have two primary partners, for the lack of a better term, two partners, Edward and Esther. The beautiful thing about polyamory is there are as many different ways of doing it as there are people doing it. A term that's come up recently, which is kitchen table poly. People that practice their poly relationships in the sense that all partners can sit around the kitchen table and hang out.
Something that surprised me about polyamory was compersion, where you can feel a good feeling about your partner's interaction with someone else. So for example, if Ed comes along and gives B a big hug and a kiss, I almost feel the good feeling that B would be feeling.
I state it very clearly that I'm poly, and that for people who don't know what that is, please look that up before you even think about engaging with me, because otherwise, I don't want you to waste your time or mine. So there's that, and it's one of the reasons that I started the Polyamory New Zealand Facebook group, because I want to create that community in New Zealand for people who are.
Like if you think of a bisexual person, if they're monogamous, that means they're going to have to choose between which person they're going to be with, even though they're attracted to both. Whereas if you're bisexual and you're poly, you can actually satisfy both of those loves that you have.
I have known that I've been bisexual only for a couple of years, but it's been there for a long time. The fact that I can date men as well as women is one of the highlights. I am actively bisexual. I have a boyfriend and I have a girlfriend, and it's perfect.
I have had some people who have been quite ignorant and rude. I've been called the downfall of society. I've been told I'm a detriment, and these really awful things, which I'm sitting there going, just because it's not traditional doesn't mean that it's not okay.
I think a lot of people see polyamory as cheating. It's an easy way for a guy to get away with cheating, basically. And that's what a lot of people who I've talked to about it have thought, you deserve better than that. You deserve someone who will love just you.
Polyamory still has that icky, secretive, that's not okay vibe about it by a lot of people. And there are even a lot of conservative gay people who feel that way about polyamory. Something like DADT, which stands for Don't Ask, Don't Tell, is a lot more comfortable for people to accept. And again, I think it comes from a place of misunderstanding or not understanding enough about it.
That's probably the third thing that people ask is, do you get jealous or do they get jealous? And yeah, I mean, you have your moments, like we're people, but it's just a matter of basically finding out where that comes from, where the jealousy comes from.
I'll let myself feel it and I'll go, oh, that's interesting, I'm feeling jealous, huh? And I'll just welcome it, you know, kind of like a friend or like a troubled child that you kind of just scoop up into your arms and say, there.
It's about figuring out what's making you jealous. So being able to rationalize and sit back and go, okay, you're feeling jealous because it's really cold tonight and all you want to do is snuggle up in bed and watch a movie with someone.
If you're not willing to learn to be okay with uncomfortable feelings, polyamory is definitely not for you.
People assume that it's about not being able to or wanting to commit. And maybe that's the case for some people. It's not the case for anyone I'm in a relationship with.
I like the idea that people can share as much love as possible and it overlaps, but it's not a bad thing. You very quickly learn that just because you don't get along in a relationship with someone, that they're a bad person. You can still be friends with them. Other people can still date them. You can still have a very full life with just one person. But why would you not want to share that with lots of people?
It would be great to see poly relationships be able to have some kind of legal status. And I don't know how far away that is. And even when the gay marriage law reforms were coming in, people were saying, well, what's going to be next? Marrying more than one person? It's like, yeah, maybe.